Hello, everyone. We are one day after the wonderful karmic astrology seminar at the Astrological Lodge. I felt greatly honored to be invited, and I think it was a great day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you see this video and you attended, you probably had fun. We did have fun, all the speakers, so to speak. It was very interesting to see how we never actually talked about what we are going to talk about, and still all four uh, uh, presentations are kind of interlocked. So that's karma, really. That was karma in the making. And the title of this video, of course, is Scorpio Full Moon Square Pluto. And of course, this Scorpio moon is ruled by Pluto, so it's quite an important action. But at the same time, the Pluto square to the luminaries, and this is a fixed T square, is really kind of odious in many respects. Let's take a look at the London chart, which actually occurred. So the exact time of the full moon is on April 24th at very, very small hours at 0:49, not yet 1 o'clock in the morning, London. But before we look at this chart, I want you to look at the Sun-Pluto exact square, which occurs on the 21st when I'm recording this actually in London, 2 hours later there will be a Sun-Pluto square. And I didn't want to make a separate video for this, but we are about a day and a half after the exact Uranus Jupiter conjunction, and there's the Sun Pluto, which Sun Pluto squares are not very rare. They occur twice a year, but there's always a struggle then between the powers that be, and so the real powers and the apparent power, the apparent monarch and his his advisor. Let's put it this way. That is what's happening here, and as you can see, the seventh house is quite packed, and there are all kinds of interesting configurations within this very, very tense uh, um, trapeze where you only have really square and semi-square and sesquiquadrate energies. So the whole idea is very, very, very tense. And we're not going to revisit this chart. We're going to look at the full moon, because by the time I put this out tomorrow on the 22nd, this will be already passed. And then we can prepare for the full moon, which has this very same militant energy, lots of things in Aries, and the Sun Pluto square is always difficult. Pluto is also the magician, and as you can see, it's in the first house, actually ruling the midheaven and the moon. The moon is very, very high up at the midheaven, kind of highlighting it, and the sun is very low on the IC, in the Taurus IC. So this Pluto is very, very prominent and it's quite strong. It's not as prominent. I mean, it's prominent, of course, but it is kind of suspended in the Budapest chart. So if you want to take a look at that chart, of course, if you don't speak Magyar, you won't understand it. But it's interesting to just click on the video and look at the chart. You will see the differences. In this particular chart, the Lilith, as this is asteroid Lilith and Pallas Athena, the two strong independent feminine, are still going together. They are actually retrograding. And there's this big difference from 2 days ago or 3 days ago, because Juno is no longer retrograde. So actually the two wife archetypes, the two first lady committed relationship archetypes, because trans Pluto is Persephone, the wife of Pluto, and Juno is Jupiter's wife. So there's two committed first ladies that were traveling together for a while, for quite some while, and now they are going to separate because Juno is already direct. Um, and then you have the upcoming Mars-Neptune conjunction. It's going to be exact in a week's time, something like that. And this is what I call the Don Quixote, or the Grail Knight aspect, when you're fighting for a noble cause. All this in Pisces, so it's again blurred by ideology. And then retrograde Mercury is conjunct the North Node, so you can understand your destiny choices, and you can make your destiny conscious. And Venus is coming up to a conjunction with Aries, drastically altered outward circumstances. So there's this fighting mode. The American Congress has just passed another bill with $100 billion, something ridiculous. I mean, they are pumping more and more money into this war, and it's really, really, really sad because the Russians are not going to give up. The Ukrainians are dying, and these are two countries that we have nothing to do with it. Of course, Ukraine is full of American corporations owning or renting the soil, which is the best soil in the world. So, of course, they are protecting their own. So they are protecting their investments via spilling Russian and Ukrainian blood. That's what they are doing. So it's very, very dishonest. But of course, all wars are like that. So that's what you have here: money and drastically altered outward circumstances. And of course, there's Chiron as well, karmic wounds which are related to war, violence, aggression, fire, blood, all kinds of stuff. So that's practically it. Let's take a look at so that was the exact Pluto square, just 1.5 days earlier. And by the time I publish this video, you won't actually it's past exactness, but the full moon has the same energy really. So this is the complex planetary picture, which will be a little bit wide with the non-closing harmony triangle. Let me explain. So we have a fixed T-square with Pluto at its apex. That is the full moon energy. And as I said, this Pluto is quite strong in the first house, ruling midheaven and the moon. And the sun is ruling the eighth house, which is the house of karmic debt. So it's quite powerful. And at the same time, we also have a mutable um, Earth engine, and also a dissolved opposition, because actually this T square is dissolved by the trans-Pluto-Juno conjunction. And the mutable Earth engine, that's a good engine, because the mutable squares are easy to work with, and Earth is the down-to-earth practical manifestation. So that's really a brilliant engine. Engines give you drive and stamina, and the ability to win, the ability to carry a lot of weight. An engine is made up by a square, a trine, and a quincunx. So it actually comes from three different aspect families. Square gives you the drive, the daily energy, the daily high impact energy. The trines give you the blessing, and the quincunxes give you the karmic intent. And that's why engines are very, very powerful. And there's a non-closing harmony triangle. If you take a good look, this is a harmony triangle, a trine with two sextiles, but these two sextiles are not really closing, because Vesta makes a sextile with Juno only, and Trans-Pluto makes a sextile with the moon only. So actually you have this little gap here. So the energy is kind of leaking out of this, unfortunately. Anyhow, and this is this conjunction is two-way separating, so it's not going to close in the meanwhile as well. Here are the transcendental celestial objects. On the sun, you have Sheraton, which is Beta Aries. And the whole constellation Aries is about fighting and self-assertion, of course, how you come into incarnation, how the incarnating soul rushes in because it wants to evolve on the earth plane. And all beta stars in constellations kind of represent the shadow energy. So Sheraton is either fighting even when the cause is futile or the outcome is futile. That's what you see in the world. All kinds of fightings which are totally futile, and they are just causing a lot of tears and pain and suffering and death. Or also how to learn to fight from the shadow. That's another manifestation of Sheraton. And on the moon, you have Dione, the first five was Zeus, young love, young innocent liaisons, and Elatus, a centaur who is proud of his own achievements through writing and speaking, so speech and writing abilities and skills. And you must remember that centaurs are half human, half animal, and they some of them, a bunch of them, wants to get rid of their animal instincts, their animal nature, and they want to better themselves. And Elatus is one of them. So all these centaurs that are linked to this group are somehow showing how I would like to overcome my handicap, my handicap at birth, let's say, because I belong to a non-privileged family or non-privileged tribe even, and then I want to come out of this and want to elevate myself. And Aratus elevates himself through writing and work and speech. On Pluto, you have Cassandra, the princess who is cursed by Apollo because she doesn't want to be his lover. And first he gives her clairvoyance, and then he curses her and says that nobody will ever understand and listen to what you say. No one will believe you. So that's a Cassandra karma on Pluto. And Altair, which is Alpha Aquila, we spoke about this a couple of days ago. Aquila is one of the shaman constellations, and Altair is one of the shaman stars, shamanic abilities. And on Vesta, you have Bienor, another betterment centaur who simply wants to shine to be someone. And Mirzam, which is Beta Canis Major, again, a beta star, another beta star. And it's a very, very bright star, but it is overshadowed by Sirius, which is the brightest star in the sky. So it shows that you can only be second best no matter how your abilities are. So you need to learn to be second best, which is quite painful, I think, although the most painful thing is not to excel at all. And actually, this can give you a push towards even become more and better. And Vesta, of course, is the focusing principle. So this is what can help you to do that. There's also a dissolved T-square. There's a cardinal T-square between Ceres and Astrea, and at the apex of which you have Venus Chiron. It's a little bit wide, but I included Venus as well because Venus Chiron is always about love hurts. So it's better to remember that this is a separating conjunction anyway. And again, Ceres is the nurturing principle, and Astrea is karma breaking, destiny changing energies. And this is dissolved by the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And as you can see, the sextile is never occurring simply because Astrea is at 17 degrees, 18 degrees, something like that. And Jupiter-Uranus is still at 22 degrees. So you don't have the sextile. But it's still dissolved. So the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is dissolving this cardinal T-square, at the apex of which is Chiron and Venus. Venus is already separating. And here are the transcendental objects. On Ceres, you have still Electra, the princess of the Theban story, the Minotaurus, the Minotaurus story. And she's the one who talks her little brother into killing her mother as a revenge. And it's an interesting thing because this also is linked to a very decisive moment in Greek mythology, because the Erinyes, the Fates, were the punishers of patricide, especially when someone murdered his or her mother. They were actually punishing it really badly. And in this case, Pallas Athena jots in and prevents it and tells the Fates that this should no longer be valid. They should no longer do this. And actually, Robert Graves considers Pallas Athena the one who nails the first, who puts the first nail into the coffin of matriarchy, because she's Zeus's daughter who was not born to a woman. So there's this masculine energy in her, and she's the new goddess who can take away the power of the Fates even. And on Astrea, you have Apollo, the shining god, Heclus, another centaur that is also linked to a funny and interesting concept because the dilemmas of truth and reality. You have your own truth that you believe it's reality, but at the same time, it is your own reality. And there's the objective reality out there, and your subjective truth and the out there objective reality is sometimes clashing. They are sometimes quite clashing. Okay. The um, on Jupiter, you have on a Jupiter Uranus. Sorry, you have also Vasat on Astrea. I forgot to say that. That is Delta Gemini, and Vasat is where the celestial twins are linked by their ankle. Not ankle, sorry. What is this? What is this? Tell me. Total. I'm so tired. On Saturday, there was this 1 day seminar, and today I taught 8 hours, and I just wanted to do this thing to put it out because the full moon is coming up to us. Elbow, yes, this is the elbow. Delta Gemini is the elbow of the twins where they are linked, and Vasat is a world where we learn to make choices. So that's what it's on Australia. In order to be a karma breaker or a destiny changer, you need to make choices and need to understand the difference between truth and reality and need to shine. On Jupiter Uranus, you have Ramses and Pandora. These are the same as a couple of days ago with the Jupiter Uranus conjunction. So I'm not going to elaborate it. But on Venus, you have Nefertiti, the Egyptian uh, queen. And on Chiron, you have Esculapia and Paradise, the same as a couple of days ago, healing and the Garden of Eden. So these are the energy patterns of this particular full moon. It's quite militant, quite strong. There's a lot of ulterior motive surfacing in it. And at the same time, there are some nice redeeming factors as well. Happy new moon and thank you for listening. Bye bye.